Hey everybody, Aaron Blaise here. How you doing? It's July 28th, and there's Dustin behind me.
Hi.
Closing the curtains. I hope you guys had a great weekend. We did. Celebrated my daughter's 31st birthday. Had a good time. Swam in the pool. Got sunburned. All that good stuff.
It was quite fun.
Yeah, it was fun.
Quite nice.
Yeah, it was quite nice. But we got a different show we're gonna do today. I figured I'd rather than try to figure out subject matter to draw or paint or whatever, I thought I might go through the one or two of the tools that I use in Photoshop when I do digital work. And I don't use it a lot, but I'm starting to use it more and more now. And I thought it would be fun to do some work with this with you guys. And that's using the Lasso tool, and maybe some of the clipping masks and stuff like that. Stuff that you don't really depend on necessarily a specific brush, but they're nice little digital specific tricks and things that you can do that are kind of fun. So I thought we would do that. And as soon as I stop burping.
Jesse popped in to say hi.
Hello.
Hello.
Are you?
Am I?
Did you have that on oscillate for you?
I did not.
You want it on oscillate?
Yes, please.
It's really. Let's do this. Let's
just pop
put
that.
that right out here.
Yeah.
Get some nice cool air coming in here.
Might want to move that back a little bit more because it's. It was leaning very.
It gets hot in here. I don't have an air conditioning vent in this little office, and our computers make it very warm. So we use the fan to bring in some cool air from the rest of the house. But anyway, before we get started, I want to remind you guys that we've got great sales going on over at creatureartteacher.com. We just put on sale last week my watercolor course, and it is doing really well. It's been very popular, so we think you guys will really enjoy it. And it's on sale for. Sorry, I got to get rid of this image. It's blocking my view. It's blocking my view. It's $5. It's $5 for the entire course. It's huge, and you can get that over at creatureartteacher.com. And go ahead. Are you gonna say something?
No.
Oh.
Just like creatureartteacher.com.
You looked like you were anticipating saying something.
I was just anticipating the movements of the controls.
Oh! Did you have the watercolor slide?
I had the watercolor slide up.
Gotcha. And also, we're going to be announcing the new winner, our next winner of a Wacom 1 on Friday. So if you still want to get in the running for that, go on over to our website and sign up for the newsletter, and you will be in the running. What else have we got?
So it's all the newsletter, folks?
Yeah. Oh, and Tim Hodges' new course on drawing mythical creatures is doing well. Drawing cartoon mythical creatures. That was a lot of fun, especially for a younger audience. And we really would love for you guys to check that out. If you're a member, just download it. If you're not, it's pretty cheap. And you'd be in the running for an original drawing from Tim as well. So get over there and check that out. And other than that,
It'd be quite nice.
still working away on our Birds of Prey course. This is one that we did yesterday. Let's blow this up and let's do this. So we had fun doing this. This is a golden eagle. And one of the things I really wanted to focus on, and we're going to talk about this today, wanted to focus on environment. And you guys know that I do a lot of characters, I do a lot of creatures, I do a lot of animals. And a lot of times it's just focused on the animal or the creature itself in a very kind of neutral environment. And lately I've been trying to push a little bit more to go back to my roots, which is, carrying a little bit more environment in there. And so in this image right here, I was talking about really thinking about, especially if you're doing birds of prey or any kind of animal or creature for that matter, what kind of environment does that character or creature or animal come from? And how does it fit into that environment? How does the environment mold it? And how does it mold the environment? And all these different things. And in this one in particular, I had these are some this is photographic reference that I shot of these rocks, and I'll show you right now. I'll pull the rocks up. Here they are. So here's the rocks. And this is from a trip that Nick and I took several years ago This is right before you came out, Dustin. This is in Yellowstone National Park. And we stopped at this place that had these really jagged, really beautiful rocks. And I just knew that these rocks would come in handy for reference for to place an animal in. And I actually photographed the rocks thinking I'd be putting like a big cat, a mountain lion or something like that, a bear.
Can you send the photo a bit,
yes.
a bit more for the
for the
Instagram?
Instagram. So here's the reference photo right there, and here's the painting that I did from it. There are golden eagles in Yellowstone Park, and so I thought, man, this would be a perfect perch to put an eagle. And so that's what I did there. And but one of the things I was thinking about as I was creating this image, and once again, this is for our Birds of Prey course, so I take you through all the anatomy and everything else. But I wanted to kind of mimic, look at the angle of the bird and the shape of the bird, and then look at the angle and shape of the rocks. And it's there's repeating themes here in shape and angle and that sort of thing. People are unclear on how to register for the Wacom 1. So please go to creatureartteacher.com and sign up for our newsletter. There's a link right on the bottom of the home page, or click the newsletter link in the footer of the website, which is at the bottom of every page. Okay? So that's how you sign up to win a Wacom 1 for Friday. Once again, you go to creatureartteacher.com and sign up for the newsletter. There's a link right on the bottom of the page, or click the newsletter link in the footer of the website, which is at the bottom of every page. Okay? So hopefully that clears that up. But anyway, back to... What's that?
Here's hoping.
Here's hoping.
For later.
But back to our image here. So I'm looking for not just creating the environment, but I want it to all wrap together. So I try to figure out from a compositional and design standpoint, how can I get my eagle and environment to kind of meld together? And in this case, I've found the similarities in the way that the bird could mimic the slant of the rocks and the shape of the rocks, for that matter. And it really kind of all came together, really tied the room together.
It's all coming together.
So, and one of the things that I did on this in creating the rocks was use my Lasso tool. And it really is a fun tool to use, even just creating basic landscapes. And so you can see by using the Lasso tool, YouTube comment, you love my hair. Oh, thanks.
I still need to buzz mine.
I'm letting mine grow back out again. I might even go long again. What the heck? Just gonna see. Have you seen Stephen Colbert? His hair is getting shaggy. He looks pretty good. He's got a lot younger looking.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, so you can take it this far where you can lasso tool in the beginning and then render over the top. But here's what I was messing around with last night. I was just playing with the lasso tool and just making up little landscapes and seeing what I can do with it. And you can see, you can have some fun with that. And so I thought we would start off doing some images like this. And can you see that on Instagram? Is it? You can kind of see it. Where? It hasn't come up yet.
It hasn't come up yet.
I'll hold it in the middle.
Gotta deal with that latency.
Oh, there we go.
There we go. And
Yeah, you can kind of see it. So, so I thought it might be kind of fun, and I'll start off doing a vertical. How's that for our Instagram friends? And it's really just. You ever play the scribble game when you were a kid? You kind of scribble something, and then you try to make something out of it. The lasso tool is kind of like that, but a little bit more controlled. And you can really create some fun imagery, really dramatic. And then also I was using, that's the other thing. I was using the symmetry tool in this. And I think you'll really enjoy that too, using the symmetry tool. So why don't we dive in? You want to do that?
yeah.
Would you have anything else to announce?
I don't think so.
Gosh, I love my coffee.
Coffee.
I made a really good batch today.
Does anybody want coffee? You ever see that video?
Yeah, you sent it to me.
Yeah, I sent
He just gets louder and
Does
louder.
anybody want coffee? I'm making coffee.
He starts spitting.
So he's asking, I signed up for the newsletter a while ago. Do I still get a chance to get the walk-up?
Oh, no.
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 If it's before a certain time, yeah, you're done.
No, of course you do. Anyone signed up for the newsletter is eligible. Also, I want to show you this. This is going to be some reference. Here's a bison sitting in the snow. This is one that I used for my watercolor class.
In the snow?
Yeah, it's a photograph I shot while in Yellowstone. And I want to show you how we can even do organic things like bison and snow. Well, not snow's not organic, but bison, that sort of thing with our lasso tool. And I want to show you that too and have some fun with it. And show that it's really just kind of a jumping off point. You can use your lasso tool as an end product, but also just a beginning product. So I'm going to keep that right there.
Right there. That sounds like a good
I'm
spot
going to
right
keep
there.
that right there. And why don't we start with a, I haven't saved this yet, file. Save as Lasso tool fun. How's that?
Lasso too fun.
Lasso tool fun.
Lasso too fun.
LTF.
Sounds like you're saying lasso too fun, like too much fun.
Yeah. All right, so here is this is a reference that we'll use later. I'll show you how to get rocks like this in using the lasso tool. Okay.
Better use that lasso tool there, bud.
Yes. So let's do this. Let's just start with a really basic thing. Start very, very basic. Let's do some mountains in the mist. Shall we? Shall we?
Mountains in the mist.
Shall we?
We shall.
Do this. We're going to go with a little violet. And we'll hit, oh no, sorry, I hit cancel instead. Let's go with a little bit of red in the sky. Start with a little violet, okay. And let's fill that in. And then we're going to put a layer on top. And we want some warmth coming into that sky. Some nice, bright warmth, like a sunset. So I'm going to go to my gradient tool. And we're going to go way up, like this. Like that. There's a nice little gradient. Can you see that?
Yes.
You see that?
Yes.
Now, let's go a little bit, let's see, we want to go cool with that. Let's go a little bit violet. Let me grab this, and then we're going to go cool and dark. How much? Oh, YouTube question. How much weight have you lost? You look like you're doing really well, man. Also, a reptile would be awesome. Well, I've lost, as of today, I have lost 18 pounds.
18 pounds?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yep. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, 16 pounds. I did the math wrong.
Ah.
So let's grab out our lasso tool, and let's go.
Ever dance with the devil in the pale moonlight?
Is that Manny?
No.
Oh, it's on the wrong layer. I got to do this.
John Paul Luigi Imperial.
That's the person's name.
Oh, you know what I'm doing wrong here? Let's do this. I'm here. I'm trying to show everybody how to do it. I kept pulling up. I got to surround the whole thing. So.
What are you doing?
What are you doing? Hey man, what you doing, man? So come all the way around. There we go. Now, I want to show you, this is a real basic approach to using the lasso tool. We're going to create a little landscape coming forward. And so let's just fill that right there. And we can use our gradient tool once again and go a little cooler with it and a little brighter, a little bit of
A little bit of
We go like this. Get this lasso tool up there like that. Now, let's go. We can stay over the top of it. Derby on YouTube says, I went to sleep with Travis's stream on and wake up with Aaron's stream. That's creepy. Alright. Alright, deselect. Now I'm going to create a new layer right on top of that. And I'm going to grab that color. I'm going to go a little warmer with it. I'm going to go a little cooler, but darker. We're going to go reverse. And we're going to grab our lasso tool again. And this time I'm going to go mountain, mountain. I forgot to surround it again. So mountain, mountain, mountain. Nice deep valley, mountain pass there. We're going to come around like so. And now I'm going to fill that. Actually, I want to go a little bit. Just a little bit darker with it. There we go. Like that. Once again, we'll go to our gradient tool and let's do a little fade on that as well. So now let's go and let's deselect like that. So that's kind of cool. Now let's go to the next layer. Let's grab our lasso tool, and now we're gonna maybe come in here and sheer cliffs.
How much platforms do you stream? I think we're streaming on 5 platforms at once.
5.
5?
We're
We're
gonna go
streaming
here and a little
Facebook,
bit darker there. Yeah, I think 5.
Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. Are we streaming? Are we still streaming on Twitter?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I just don't know.
Nick, am I saying it right? Nick.
So this
Nick,
is the most basic thing I wanted to show you that you can do with your lasso tool, and just some color, using a little bit of color theory. We're using warm and cool, some gradients here. Let's do one more. Do one more layer, because I want to show you another thing we can do within this. So we're going to create another layer. I'm going to go a bit darker.
Hey, Aaron.
Hey, how's it going, eh?
How's it going, eh? I'm reading the book Timing for Animation by Harold Whitaker and John Hallis of 1981. Do you know this book and any thoughts on it?
I don't know it. No, I don't know that book. Whoops, I forgot to surround it again.
What is your way to mix colors in Photoshop?
My way to mix colors is I think about there we go. Let's do that. There we go. I think about value and temperature. Those are the things I think about most. Value and temperature. So here we've got these nice dark mountains in the foreground, like they're in shadow. And they get more and more jagged. See that? But we're creating this really neat kind of vertical landscape.
Very jaggy.
Very jaggy.
Very jaggy.
Let's do one more, actually. And I wanted to add just a little bit of misty mist.
Do you ever have any banding problems with digital gradients?
Yes.
Any thoughts about that?
It has to do with resolution. So the better your resolution, the better, the less banding you'll have. And it depends on your screen on your monitor.
Isn't it like you have to...
I mean, I've got banding in this. Can you see it on the monitor?
A little bit.
Yeah.
Isn't it like trying to match... You have to try to match the resolution between your art piece and the screen that you're using, or...
Not necessarily, but yeah, that does help. Why do I keep doing that?
What are you doing?
What are you doing?
What the heck?
Oh, that's not what I want.
Yes, we are streaming on Twitter as well.
I
Thank
want
you,
like
Erica.
a boulder in the foreground. There, so now I've created this foreground. It's got a boulder on it. You know boulder. You know boulder.
Boulder.
I'm filling that.
It's not a boulder. It's a rock.
So there, look at that. So in about 15 minutes, we just created this pretty neat little landscape using our lasso tool. Twitch comment. Far over the misty mountains, cold to dungeons deep in caverns old, we must away our break of day to seek our pale enchanted gold. Is that the Hobbit? Or is that
it's the song.
or is it the what the dwarves sing?
Yeah.
Far over the misty mountains cold, to dungeons deep and caverns old.
Hey, listen to this.
It's the song from when they're on the living.
I dig it, man.
When
I
they're on
dig
the living room area.
I dig it.
Yeah.
I dig it, man. All right. Hey, do you want to put some snow in this?
Ooh.
What do you think?
Yeah.
We could put some snow in this. Let's try it. Let's start with the far mountains, not the far ones, because we're going to leave those kind of in mist.
Did you know that Photoshop has a color wheel that now no need for extensions?
Yes.
Justin,
But
can
I don't
you
use it.
recommend a good make for a camera cleaning kit? I never really focused much on cleaning kits because a couple of the lenses that I ordered off of B&H, they came with a free cleaning kit right off the bat. So I don't really know a good recommendation for a specific brand. But
I've got hello guy, hello dude,
hey dude, sup bro?
hello guy.
Hey guy.
I'm just wondering if you're ever going to do a video about humans riding horses because I'm struggling on it. Thanks for your amazing works. Well, listen, guy, I will try. I will try to do that. Guy. Yes, we'll try to do that at some point. But right now, we're not. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to layer 3, which is the second to the last layer back. And I'm going to go ahead and lock it. You know, push the lock button. Now I've alpha locked it. And so now I can create, watch this. I'm going to create little shapes. And if I hold my shift button down, if you hold that shift button down, it'll continue to make shapes.
Sorry, bro. I was watching one of your streams a few weeks ago, fell asleep, then woke up with my phone live streaming my ceiling and me snoring in the background because I accidentally clicked the go live button while I was asleep.
So what I'm doing is I'm trying to just draw these random shapes and scribbles that kind of help describe the form.
Can you imagine
You
going
know-
live by accident while you're like asleep or something and you just hear?
Yeah. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab that color, but now I'm going to go a little bit cooler with it, and I'm going to go a fair amount brighter with it. And now I'm going to grab a brush. Rather than my fill tool, I'm going to grab a brush. And let's just grab a regular Photoshop brush, just my hard round brush. We're going to keep it simple. I want you guys to see how simply you can do this.
How
We're just
difficult?
hold on.
I'm sorry.
We're just going to draw over the top of it. It's okay, Dustin.
Shedding upstairs.
I'm just going to draw right over the top of it. Okay? Just drawing right over the top. Coloring it in. Now watch when I deselect. we've got snow on the mountains. Isn't that cool?
Very cool.
Yeah. So now let's do the same thing on the next layer. We're going to lock it, alpha lock it. We're going to grab the lasso tool. We're going to hold our shift button down. And now I'm just going to start. I can go outside the lines, but because I've alpha locked it, it won't color out there. So I'm not too worried about it.
You truly are the digital Bob Ross.
Was that a comment?
No, it's just something I made.
Uh-huh. So here, this is kind of a Bob Ross approach. We're drawing the Misty Mountains.
How hard would you say is learning After Effects by yourself?
I don't-
without any help.
That's a question for you, Dustin, because I've never really tried to learn After Effects, and we've been trying to get you to learn it.
Yeah, I've had difficulty learning, but it depends on the person, I think. Different people have different methods of learning. Like some people are more hands-on approach, other people like just need a manual, other people need someone else to show them how to do it. So it's more based on the person than the actual software itself.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Most of the time.
So once again, I've created these shapes. I'm going to grab the color, but then I'm going to cool it off and go a little bit brighter. And then once again, grab our round brush, and I'm just going to paint. Look, I'm just filling it in. That's all I'm doing. Just painting away, filling it in. Knowing that it won't go outside the alpha lock area. Once again, if we deselect it, look, we've got mountains. We got snow. Snowy mountains.
Does Procreate have a similar tool to the Lasso?
I think it does. I believe. I haven't been on it in a while, but I believe it does. Nick says, I recommend a can of compressed air for cleaning lenses that are invaluable. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Well, the person was asking like for a specific brand, because there are full cleaning kits that have extra soft brushes and wipes and they not compressed air, but they're like the squeegee air things, like one of these.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like one of these. So this is probably the most important thing of the whole kit, because it gets rid of loose dust that's on the sensor or on the lens.
So here, I'm just creating little bits of snow going down.
I love your streams. Where are you streaming from? We're streaming from
My studio.
the studio, yeah.
We are in DeLand, Florida. DeLand, it's near the sea.
To see. Now, if you're asking what software we're streaming from, it's from OBS.
Oh, BS.
Why are you using the brush tool instead of the paint bucket?
Because it's quicker when I'm filling these in.
That's so amazing. And how do you know when you can blend the colors when you're doing a sunset?
You look at a real sunset, and that's what'll tell you. You know, you are using complementary colors. Usually, you're going from I just grabbed a slightly lighter color for the snow here, and notice how when I stay within the same basic color, well, the same basic temperature as the original mountain that on each layer, and then I just adjust for the snow slightly. Notice how the snow recedes in hue and value. Let's deselect, and there once again we've got snow on the ground. And then in this foreground, we can keep it really dark if we want, or if we want, we can just add a little bit of snow.
Is this just a background, or is there going to be a creature?
No, this is just a background.
Just simple little background. I joined only now. What's the theme of today? Today's the Lasso tool. Learning the Lasso tool on Photoshop. Correct?
Yep. So here I'm just creating a little bit of snow right there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab that, but I'm just going to go ever so slightly brighter this time. I want the foreground to be in shadow.
Sure, I want to be a concept artist, but I can understand from where there are so many fundamentals. So from where will I start?
Start at the beginning. You want to learn the basics of art. I mean, it's a concept artist is just like any other artist. You need to learn the rules of art. And so there we go. So there you go. So you can see we got this landscape. And so by learning those rules, it's going to help you, because when you are a concept artist, you're designing, you're composing, much like what we're doing here, just like any other artist. But you're design, like a fine artist or an illustrator or anything else. You're just working towards a different end goal, which is designing for a film or a TV show or something like that. And so with that in mind, you have the same rules. You're designing, you're composing, you're doing all that, but you're doing it for creating a creature or creating an environment or creating a background or that sort of thing. And so all of these, the more you go back to the fundamentals of art, the more everything applies to it. Okay? And so, thinking about basic color and composition and design and all these different things, these are applied ideas to almost every aspect of not just fine art, but everything that goes outside of fine art, which is illustration and creature design and everything else that you can think of that falls under needing to be able to draw and paint and design and all of that. Man, that was a jumbly way of talking, but I got it out. YouTube comment: tip for avoiding banding like this: work huge areas in 16-bit, finish gradients and switch to 8-bit. Photoshop will add noise to fill in the gradient and no banding will be present. Does not work in reverse, 8-bit to 16-bit. I never knew that. Very cool. Thank you for telling me that. That's awesome.
I think just going larger than going into a smaller scale, I think, helps out. Whether if it's resolution or bit scaling.
Yeah, that's cool. So now, when we have something like this, I like this, but it feels a little busy, right? Don't you think? A little bit? So what we can do is I'm going to go in between each layer. Watch this. Let's add a little bit of mist down in the valleys. You want to do that?
Yeah.
Let's add some mist in the valleys.
Someone asks, background, foreground, and middle ground. Where do you emphasize the action most of the time in a scene for animation?
There is no area most of the time. It's just whatever the shot calls for. So it depends on, there might be your character in the background doing action, might be in the middle ground, mid ground, or foreground. Might be extreme close up, might be a medium shot. So it just really depends on what the story calls for. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back here and I'm going to grab this color right here. I want to grab that and I want to go maybe a little cooler with it and a little brighter with it. I'm going to go back to my gradient tool, and I'm going to come in here and add some mist. I don't like going brighter with it, so I'm going to take that back. Let's do this again. I'm going to grab that, and let's darken it just a touch. And I'm going to come up. There we go. Because the reason I did that is that the sun, there's no sun down in there, so it should be darker. So that's what I'm doing. I'm making it a little darker down there rather than lighter, which I've done. I've tried. I made it. I think I made it lighter just to get the layers to stand out. But I'm going to go the opposite. So let's do the same thing here. I'm going to come. Oh, let's first of all, let's go here. Make a new layer.
Why aren't you using a clipping mask?
Because I wanted to use the lasso tool instead. They kind of do the same. They do the same thing. And so I'm going to go just a little darker with it, and we're going to go down here, and we're going to come up. And the reason I'm doing this is that I'm trying to get the snow down low to kind of fade out a little bit and make it not so busy. Okay? And let's do the same thing on top of here. I'm going to grab that value, maybe just a touch brighter for that one. And we're going to go up, 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 up. There. So now we've got some nice kind of mist coming up out of the valley. And one of the other cool things that this does is that now look at that foreground. See how strong that foreground stands out? Yeah. Now if we want to put a character there, let's say we want, I'm going to grab this foreground color because I want to keep it all the same. I'm just going to grab that, and let's just do this. Instagram comment reminds me of the snow scene from Mulan. Yeah, it does kind of. So let's say we want a character right here. I'm going to go about a third, and just
Actually, what if you lassoed one of your previous birds of prey into here that you think would fit in here?
That'd be kind of cool, wouldn't it? Got a pack on his back.
Do you color your animation frames?
Yeah, I do. There, got it. We'll do like a whole family. Let's do a here.
Will you be painting the backgrounds for Snow Bear the same way as the way you're doing?
No, it'll be. We might do a few of them like this.
Where are the Huns at?
So when I'm drawing people like this, I just get really loose with it.
What's the fine line between concept art and illustration?
Concept art is illustration in my mind. You're illustrating for different ideas for a movie, right? So look at that. Now we got, nice silhouette here. These characters, maybe they walk through the snow. There we go.
There we go.
There we go. Look at that. We got a little Ice Age piece. We did it in like 20 minutes. It's a lot of fun to create these little images. And you can have some fun with that. Now we could go even further with this if you want to go. Let's go back here. And I'm going to create a layer right there, and let's go super hot with it. And I'm going to go back to my my gradient tool, and I'm going to go to the round gradient, and I'm just going to go boop, 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 boop. Get it really hot, right? Let's have some some experimental fun here. Now I want to. I think I'm going to. Let's do this. I'm going to try doing something here. We're going to copy that background, put all of these into their own layer. Yeah, just for the heck of it, because I want to move on to another one, and we'll just try doing this. I'm going to put them, put that all together, and let's just have some fun with our blend mode. So I'm going to grab a soft round brush. I'm going to go to color dodge. I'm going to bring my opacity down to 21%-ish. And the color I'm going to grab this orangey color. And I'm going to take it off of that. And let's just burn the sunlight in. So look at that.
Question? When creating mountains or large rock features in a background, do you typically only use the lasso tool to achieve the texture, or do you prefer using a brush that mimics rock textures?
Sometimes I use a brush just to use a paintbrush like I would traditionally. Sometimes I'll use a brush that does rock. It really depends on the type of illustration that I'm looking to do. Let's go a little redder with it. A little more orange.
Do you use the smoothing lines in Photoshop? If so, what percentage is it?
I don't. There, look at that. So we get this really cool kind of light coming in. And we can grab that and go even brighter here. And now I'm going to go to normal. And just put a little sunlight right there, just peeking over the top. Now what's fun with this is that we can go in and just add a little bit of rim lighting. You want to try that? You want to try that, Dustin?
Sure.
Let's try it.
Wait, is this 2020 Photoshop? Or
Yes.
is this 2019?
This is 2020.
2020?
This is the latest, eh? So I'm going to keep my smooth brush. Actually, no. I'm going to go to the hard round brush. Once again, these are all just standard, super simple Photoshop brushes. I wanted to do that so you can see that you can create some pretty cool imagery through this. Now, this is all, in the blue range. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the opposite color. I'm going to go into the orange range, play the opposites. I'm going to once again go to my color dodge, drop it down a little bit, maybe 13%. And we're going to come in, and we're going to get a little bit of rim lighting. I want some rim lighting on the areas that the light is hitting directly.
Watched Brother Bear for the first time today. I
Oh.
loved it. I thought it had a good message. Don't know why it wasn't a bigger success. I thought it had more message in it than the usual Disney movie.
Thank you. I had fun making it. I don't think using, well, actually we're going to do two things. Let's try two things here. Actually, no, I'm going to do this. I'm going to change this. I'm actually going to just paint, and then we're going to burn it in for the rim lighting. So I'm going to keep it real warm like this, but I'm just going to paint. I'm going to put it on the normal blend mode. Normal. We're going to knock this up to, let's say, 82%. I'm going to come in and just, oops, turn that on. Now we're going to, see, I want color in here.
add a torch to one guy and a bit of light on the character to see how that is done?
Yes, that's a great idea.
Also, do you have a mental color palette or do you use references?
I have a mental color palette. Like right now, we're just doing this out of our head, right?
Yeah.
If you look at the sunset, especially when you look at a sunset at night, you really start to see how those complementary colors work. You'll really see violet and yellow and blue and orange and these really wonderful kind of complementary things starting to happen. So we're just creating some rim lighting here. I'm going to let that fade right down here. I'm purposely keeping it really simple. You don't have to draw really well to do this. Keeping it simple. See that? You start to get this nice feel.
For the future, would you consider a course on how to draw reptiles?
Yes, we will be doing that.
You're currently using a Wacom tablet.
Yeah. You want
And
to switch over?
It's a
Hello.
32-inch Cintiq Pro. 32-inch Cintiq Pro on Photoshop. And the tower is the Mac Pro. The latest Mac Pro, the cheese grater Mac Pro.
You love saying that, don't you?
Oh yeah, I love calling it a cheese grater. Because that's what it looks like. It looks like a cheese grater.
So there we go. So we're getting a little bit of rim lighting here. Maybe a little bit here. Just a touch. I'm just going to get a touch of it. Just like that. Now I can go in with my color dodge. And now we can go, okay, I want it to be really hot right here. Really hot right there. Really hot along here. Turn that up just a bit.
Have you ever done city background art?
I haven't done a lot of city art. I mean, I've done some, and it's not much different. You're just doing more geometric shapes. But the thinking is still the same.
Are you currently imitating a real image?
No. We're just making this up.
Making it up as we go.
Yep. We're just making it up. There, look at that. So now you can see we've got this really cool hot light coming off of these mountains, because that sun is still pretty bright, right? It gets clear skies. Using the color dodge blend mode on my brush.
Ah, friends, how was the coffee?
That's good. YouTube question: what is the real size of the brush you're using to rim light on screen? It looks so very small. I'm at 35 pixels. If I blow it up even more, you can see. So there you go. Just like that. Just like that, see? And you want to add a little bit of wind, we can I'm going to just experiment with this now. I'm going to grab a little bit of this because it's going to be catching light. The snow blowing off the top. I'm just going to try it. I've got to experiment with this. I've got these cloud brush shapes here, and knock it way down.
Is it true that the most memorable, rememberable, and loved characters for animation are flawed and can be relatable? How can you make a character like that? Because most of my ideas for my characters don't click with me, so I don't think it would work.
It is just that. It's making your characters relatable, even their flaws. You know, we all have mistakes and things about ourselves that we want to make different. And when you can create a character that other people see themselves in, you've got a character that's really memorable. That's what that means.
I accidentally have been watching this with a blue filter light, or blue light filter the whole time. Totally different picture with it turned off. Yeah, that does happen when you're using any kind of filter. It changes the image quite a bit.
So a lot of times when you're in your mountains, you'll see the snow kind of blowing off the top of the mountain. That's what I'm doing here, and the light is going to come through it. I'm still in color dodge, so I'm burning that in. There, that's kind of cool, huh? What you think, Dustin?
Yeah, he's great days.
So look at this. I mean, we're really creating some fun. Add a little bit of mist down here and snow. We're really creating some fun atmosphere and landscape, and really it's just functions in Photoshop that you can use to get here, and that's what I really love about this. You know, you can create some really neat looking images just by doing that. Someone had asked earlier about creating a torch. Let's do that. Now we've already blended this together, so it's going to present an interesting set of issues, but let's see what we can do. I'm going to create a new layer. We're just going to create this orange flame. I'm going to set it to normal. I'm going to grab a hard round brush, once again just a very simple brush, and I'm going to let's turn one of their spears into a torch. You want to do that? Okay, sounds great, Aaron.
Yeah,
all right.
sounds fantastic.
So let's
How's the ZBrush course coming along?
how's it coming along, Dustin?
Oh, Nick, how's it coming along?
No, you were the one that was recording it.
Well, I'm recording.
Editing it.
Yeah, it's all edited, but
Well, there you go. You can tell them it's all edited.
It's all edited, but Nick is the one that's finalizing it all, like adding in the introductions, making, proof checking all of it. But right now he's working on.
So Dustin, long story short, Dustin's making this really long-winded. Dustin has finished editing it, and Nick has it right now to put titles on it.
There you go.
So here we go. Here's our torch. Just making it kind of hot right there. But we want it to cast a little bit of light, right? So I'm going to, first of all, let's give it a little bit of atmosphere by creating a little bit of glow around it. Oops. Let me put a layer on top. There we go. Oh, I think I hit the, there. Just a touch, just a little bit of a glow right there.
There you go.
Actually, I want less than that. Let's drop down. Oh, the opacity's already at 45%. That's weird. Let's go more orange glow with it. Maybe a yellow glow. There, we're just going to touch it. There we go. So that's going to provide, it's going to tell us that thing's putting out light because there's enough particulate in the air that it's creating a glow like that. Now let's go to, because we've compressed our layers. We don't have our people on their own layer now, but we can still paint only on them if we want. We can go to select, and we go to color range, and I'm going to just click on them. And if you look up in the upper left here, it creates this image right here where it's going to tell me where it's going to paint, and I can hit OK. Now I can actually, I'm going to do this again. Color select. I'm going to deselect that. Color range, and I'm going to click on this, and also here, Shift, hold it down. There we go. So now I've got all of them selected. I'm going to hit OK, and you can see it's outlined. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab that torch color, and I'm just going to lightly, I'm not going to worry about the modeling on them, but I am just going to lightly, why is that so bright? Oh, because of that.
How do you come up with new ideas for your paintings?
There we go. They just come to me. You know, the new ideas, it's however you get inspired. We all get inspired by different things, and nature inspires me. So this is a little bit of a cheat, but I'm going to use it. So you can see got a little bit of light there. Be a touch there. That's about it. Now let's deselect. And now you can see our characters in the foreground are getting a little bit of light caught on them. It's just treated flatly, but I think it's effective. Once again, I wanted to show you how easily you can do something like this and not really have to worry about it. So there's our character coming into a valley, and they're seeing this beautiful sunset and rim-lit clouds and mountains and all kinds of stuff. It's kind of neat. So you want to try another one?
Sure.
All right.
Do it.
I got some up here. Hi, Aaron. Have you ever tried stop motion animation? And what's your favorite stop motion film? Probably Nightmare Before Christmas is my favorite stop motion. I think when it came out, it really struck a chord. I really loved it. I've never tried stop motion.
I think the most classic of the stop motions for me personally has to be the
Rudolph?
Rudolph.
Yeah. Was it really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember growing
love
up
Rudolph.
watching that almost every holiday.
Oh yeah, same with me. Yeah, as a kid. Twitch comment, title suggestion, Adventures of a Stick Salesman. There you go. YouTube question, do you have a course where you can learn to paint like this? Answer, yes. Yes, my digital painting in Photoshop course teaches exactly what I just taught you here, and plus a lot more. So it takes you from the basics and takes you up to a little bit more advanced stuff. So if you want to check out my digital painting in Photoshop, my approach, Aaron Blaise, then it's at creatureartteacher.com, and it'll show you just that. And by the way, it's only $1. Did you know that?
$1? That's
$1. Yep.
$1.
Go check it out, man. All right, so there's our image there, and that was fun. So now we get, those are snowy mountains, and we did that. Well, we did that in about an hour, but I was talking a lot.
Misty mountains.
But look at this one here. We can do something like this too, where you have these overlapping shapes, which I think is kind of fun. Want to do let's do the bison though. Want to try that?
Bison.
Bison. All right, so let's
What
try.
you got right there is a giant bison laying out in the snow.
All right, let's do Lasso 1. We're gonna save that as Lasso 1. Bingo, bango, bongo. There it is. That was fun. Thanks, guys. All right, let's do another one. I'll keep doing these vertical because we're streaming right now on Instagram, and everything's vertical there, vertigo there. It's all vertigo.
Vertigo.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's try something new. Let's try, and I'm just going to make this up as we go, but I do theoretically have in my head that you can do this with the lasso tool, although I've never tried it. We're going to keep it really, we're going to do something more organic. I'm going to do the snow scene. And I'm going to fill. What movie is that from? It's Groundhog Day, man.
Oh yeah. Ned.
All right, so let's do this. I'm going to create another gradient. Let me do this. I'm going to move my reference. Here's my reference, our bison. I'm going to move that up here. And I saw, I'm going to make that a little bluer. And we're going to come down here. I'm going to refill that. There we go. Okay, refilling that.
Have you ever lost work while saving?
Yeah. A long time ago. It doesn't really happen anymore. There we go. That feels better. So now I'm going to go a little warmer, a little brighter, a little warmer, a little brighter.
A little warmer, a little brighter.
And we're going to come over here, and I'm going to create yet another. Oh, I'm on the circle gradient. Thought that felt kind of weird. All right, so there's our gradient going up from brighter snow in the foreground to some darker stuff in the background.
What canvas resolution do you paint at?
Right now, this is 18 by 24 inches at 200 DPI. I'm doing a lower DPI so it'll perform a little better. I'm going to create a layer on top, and I'm going to start creating just, I'm going to grab this, go a little darker with it, maybe a little cooler, a little darker, and watch what I do. I'm just going to create these because there's a lot of trails going. Ned? Look, I got to show you.
Oh yeah. Ned. That's just the image, is not the GIF.
Yeah. Oh, come on. Oh, I'm on this.
You put it in the background.
I know. Here we go.
Nice.
What? Oh, this.
What?
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 What's path?
I'm practicing a fox drawing, but it looks more like a wolf. Do you have any tips?
Ned? There it is. Ned?
Ned?
Groundhog Day. Alright, so let's go back to this. Did you take that pretty bison photo? I did. I take all my own photos. Alright, go back. I'm sorry, Dustin. What's the question again?
I'm practicing a fox drawing, but looks more like a wolf. Do you have any tips?
Yes. Go to creatureartteacher.com and check out my how to draw wolves, foxes, and coyotes. But there are the coyote is a more slight. It's a much more slight animal. And that let me show you. Give me that coyote and give me the wolf.
Is this the...
That's the wolf. Coyote is the next smallest one down on the left. Yep. So here's something I want to show you. So, I mean, the size difference alone. Here's a wolf, which is very big. And here's a coyote, which is about the size of my dog. So you can see, look at the size difference there. And look how much more robust a wolf's skull is. Very robust compared to a coyote. And so although on the surface it seems like their shapes are pretty similar, they're actually pretty different. And that's a whole other lecture to tell you guys for that's for another time. But if you are interested, I do have an entire course on how to draw wolves, coyotes, and foxes. So I'm going to go back to the hard round brush. We're going to go to a full thing here. Look at this. We're just going to paint that right in.
Will you do a course on your approach on painting landscapes?
Yes. I'm going to go a little bit more subtle with that. So we'll do that. And oh, I didn't even do it on a different layer, but that's okay. And let's deselect. Now let's do another layer. Now let's do another. There we go. I'm going to try something. Let's try something new. This is all about experimentation, all right? So let's come through here again.
Aaron, let's say you were a self-taught artist while working a job. How do you go pro? Please, any tips?
You've got to, going pro is competing with other artists. So if you're self-taught, you better make sure that you have learned as much, if not more, than the next guy that's in line for the same job that you're going after. That's what it comes down to. So you have to understand that being self-taught means you have to take it upon yourself to learn all the stuff that everyone else that went to school for it learned as well. And I do think there's benefits from going to school in the sense that, I mean, there's a huge benefit from understanding not just, like art history that you would learn at school, but also different design approaches, different use of mediums and things like that. These are things that are going to, as an artist, make you much more rounded, well-rounded, and much better prepared to attack the professional world. And as a self-taught artist, so often people are very myopic in their view. They feel like they learned how to draw, something just like what they're looking at, and that makes them an artist. And that's just one example. But there's really, as a self-taught artist, you really still need to understand design theory and put it to practice. The elements of composition, the elements of design, the elements of what makes an image great, how to, the psychology of design and composition. How do you tell a story in one image? And it's all done through composition, understanding expression, understanding body language, acting. All of these things are things that we go and learn to make our work better. And so those are the things that you're going to need to master, because everyone else that went to school that's successful in the professional world are using those elements, and so you need to do it as well. So here I'm going to come in and just slightly, let me do it again. I'm going to turn that on. There we go. Now I'm just going to lightly go like this. There we go. And let's deselect. No, I'm going to stay in there. Now I'm going to grab my lasso tool. And I'm going to create a little trail through here. And another little trail through here.
You have any tips on drawing flowers?
Whoops, shoot. Observe. My best tip for drawing flowers or foliage in general is to get out there and observe it and see what it is. Oh God, I don't know why it's doing. Oh, it's because it's within there. Let's just keep that there. So it really requires you to get out there and paint it. Observe it. There we go. We're starting to create kind of a cool thing here in the foreground that I'm really liking. Now let's, I'm going to stay on the same layer. I'm going to create another little trail going across. But get out there, and I challenge you, if you want to draw flowers and plants and all that, then I challenge you to go out and sit in your yard, stare at them, look at them, or go someplace where there are flowers, if they're not necessarily in your yard, and draw them. Go out there, seek them out, and draw them.
Do you have any favorite artists that you watch for reference or to learn?
I have a lot of favorite artists that have influenced me over the years. Yes. John Singer Sargent, Joaquin Sorolla. These are all artists that I've always been really keen on. Jeremy Lipking is a contemporary artist now that really blows my mind. So yes, the long answer or the short answer is yes. And those are the artists that really inspire me. There's a few contemporary Russian artists that really blow my mind as well. So I'm just going through, and I might be a little too bright. I'm going to pull back on that. Just a little bit. There we go. Instagram comment. I don't not love you. Thank you. YouTube question. Hey Aaron, should I put my character designs into my portfolio when I apply as an animator? Not necessarily. You don't have to. I mean, obviously you can. And if you feel that they're going to help you, I mean, the most important thing is getting that, making sure that making sure that your animation is as strong as it can be. That's the most important thing. But if you think, you know, having those little extra bits in there will help, then sure, by all means, go ahead and do it.
Have you ever met Roy Disney?
I was actually pretty good friends with Roy Disney. He used to come into the studio quite a bit, and you know, Roy back in the day did a lot of the nature documentaries, and so when we were, and I was a huge fan of those, and also when we were making Brother Bear, it reminded him of those days. You know, we went and did a lot of research, and we actually looked at a lot of the old Roy Disney documentaries from the 60s, and so when we went out and did the research for the movie, he really dug that. He loved that. And so we, hold on, sorry, I'm trying to get this right. We just became good friends. He would come into the studio and he'd come up to our story room when we were working, and we'd hang out and just sit and talk about, you know, the old days, and we'd talk about different places and nature to go to, and he would talk about, you know, sailing his boat across the ocean to Hawaii, and, you know, all kinds of crazy stuff. And but he was a really cool guy.
Would you kindly post the artwork of the day? Taking screenshots through the phone ruins the quality.
Yes, I will do that. So here I've got, you can see I'm just doing this with the lasso tool. I've got a little bit of that snow built up there. I'm going to put a layer underneath the layer that I just created. Let's sit here and let's try to do the bison. Now, when I do this bison, I want to be careful. I want to do this. I want to be pretty accurate. One thing I don't know is, can you resize a lasso? I wonder.
Resize a lasso?
Oops, I didn't have that. Shoot, I gotta hold the shift key down. Yeah, let's say I want to resize it. If I draw it too big, I wonder if I can resize it. I don't know.
Do you have any videos on your website that demonstrate creating ocean waves or sprays or sandy beaches with water's edge?
Yes, I have one that talks specifically about creating water, painting water digitally. So let's see if I can do this. I'm just curious. Edit, free transform. Cannot transform pixels because the selected area is empty. Okay. Well, you know what I can do is I can paint in it and then I can resize it. So there's that. So let's go brown. And I'm just gonna, at first, I'm just gonna go very simple. I'm gonna go dark. I wanna go to my darkest dark and we're gonna work light. So let's do that. So, I'm gonna go to my brush. You don't, Twitch question, you don't use the brightness and contrast of the colors? Why? You don't use, because I try to paint it right from the beginning. That's why. So here, I'm just painting in, so when I'm doing this, I'm really trying to, you can see I've got some funky areas along the edges, but that's okay. We'll do that later. We're gonna try to do this with I'm gonna move that. We're gonna try to do this with just our lasso tool. So now that we've got that, I'm going to, and I'm going to try to do it with just that round brush. There's my challenge. That's our challenge. I'm going to pull the spacing together. There's the challenge, and try to give this an interesting feel. There we go. There we go. We're going to bring this down.
At what age did you start designing?
Well, I started drawing at probably about age 2, 3. I really started learning art. I started taking art lessons and learning when I was about 15. And then I went to school. I went to college when I was 18. And I went to the Ringling College of Art and Design. Oh, resize, modify. To resize, select modify, then click transform selection. Ah, okay, cool. I knew there had to be a thing there.
Do you own this studio that you're streaming from?
Yeah, it's my house.
Get out of my house!
So here, there's our bison sitting there. I'm gonna cheat. I know I said I was gonna use just the round brush, but I've got to try my textured brushes that I made. These rock texture brushes that I made recently. They're perfect for this.
Buffalo.
Great white buffalo.
Great white buffalo.
Great white buffalo. There, look at that. Look at that awesome texture that we're getting into his hide. Keeping it really simple. Look at that. Keep it simple.
Simple in the simple.
Yeah, I'm going to go back to the dark and get that up in here. Rework that a little bit. Just go back and forth between the dark there we go. There we go. Look how simple this is. Keeping it really simple. The biggest thing is making sure we have the right silhouette, you know?
Yeah.
And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go inside here and I'm going to
When it comes to resizing the lasso, somebody says I think the lasso has a dimension of 1 pixel wide. So if you're talking about the tool itself, it's not resizable. But if you're talking about resizing the form created by the lasso tool, you fill it and then you can click Command plus T.
Okay, cool.
Command and T, and that resizes what you've lassoed.
So here, I've just created within the lasso area of the bison, I've created the horn. But if I try to paint the horn, it's painting around it. See that? So what I need to do is go up to select and go to inverse. And so now what it'll allow me to do is to paint inside the horn. Look at that. Now let's go a little cooler with it. I'm going to go back to my round brush.
From Deep Thoughts, there's been a YouTube request. Dustin, can you scream loud, "We are streaming!" There you go.
Go back to inverse again. I'm going to grab some of this and we're going to go here. I'm going to go back to my texture brush. And just hit some of these. Right along here. Give that feel. There we go. So now we've got a bison that's got this nice texture. It feels like he's sitting in the snow. We can go even darker. I want to get really dark with it.
If you say bison too many times, Dustin's going to leave.
Bye, son. So let's actually, if I do this, I wonder if I can get a nice little so I'm going to just hit that. I don't know if you can see it or not. It's a very slight value change. And then I'm going to grab my regular brush, my pastel C, there, just like that. Now let's hit select, deselect, and there is our bison sitting out there. You can see along the edge there where I got a little bit scribbly, it got a little weird. So I can just come in here on these areas. I'm going to keep my pastel C brush and we can just paint those in. Same thing over here. Because one of the things now we can do is I'm going to go to my... You okay? You all right?
Have you ever won a trophy for your paintings?
Yes, I have. I've won some awards that were cool. I need to go... Is this one? Nope. There. And I'm going to knock this back to full 33%. So now, watch, I can come in here. Just create some soft hair. Let's go a little more on that. On the bison. So I'm softening these edges. For those of you on the Instagram, you can see here.
All the grams of Vista.
There. And up here they get really kind of long with their fur. So I'm just softening these edges, especially along here. I can get kind of... what I'm using are these little dotted brushes. You've probably seen me in the past create these brushes that are just a bunch of dots, but then you bring them into your smudge tool and it softens the edges and you can create fur textures with them like this. There. So there's our bison sitting in the snow. So now I want to go behind and we're going to create some more snow. There we go.
Have you ever tried another tablet brand apart from Wacom?
I really haven't. No. A lot of people ask me if I've used like Huon and that sort of thing.
Canvas?
But, yeah, but I haven't. I really don't have any interest. I really like Wacom. I've used Wacom really since I started doing digital art. And we've really had no need to go anywhere else with it.
Have you ever drawn manga?
No, a little bit, not much though. Go back to my hard round brush. YouTube question, in the BOP course, meaning birds of prey.
Birds of prey.
So do you show how you're doing the painting? Yes, I do. I talk about how I'm doing the painting along with the anatomy. This one I'm doing it a little bit different than what I've done in other courses. The other courses really focus generally on just the anatomy and the drawing of that animal. Whereas in the birds of prey, I am focusing on that, but I'm also talking about the process of the painting. So there's some of the, we just created a little bit of, you know what, I think the bison might be here. I was thinking it might be too small. I think it might be too big. I mean, I was saying it's too big. Might be. I think we might be too small. So let's do. Whoops. Let's do that. Edit. Free transform. Let's just put them here. Shall we? We'll have to erase part of them underneath. That way, it at least has a pretty decent amount of the composition. And oh, I don't want that. I want a different brown brush. Just want to clean up. some of them there. There we go. And then, let's see here. Yeah, I want a little bit more back there. Let's go behind them again. And let's go ahead and just do one more. I feel like it needs another couple of little design elements, little trails going across. You know, these are all, you really see this out in the snow, and it's all these different trails that other bison and deer, coyotes, they've all made these little trails crisscrossing the snow. There we go. So there it is. So look how easy that was just by creating the background snow color and gradient. You know what we could do? You want to try something? Ice crystals on his snout, fur. I was just thinking the same thing. Dustin, how did you meet Aaron? Well, I could get really graphic.
Well,
a long time ago.
There are many ways to explain that. Let's just say
he was an itch. He was an itch.
One moment
he was an itch that
opened my
needed
eyes
scratching one Christmas Eve morning.
He woke me up one night and I went goo goo gaga. And I went,
So I'm going to try something here. I'm just going to try it with a lasso tool first. I want to see what this looks like, and it might not work.
can you animate on an iPad? If yes, which iPad do you suggest and which program?
Well, there's several. You can animate in Procreate, and you can also animate in what's called Calipeg, which we have courses for both of those pieces of software. It really is just, I think Calipeg is more suited to animation. I wonder if I should put snow up here. I don't know. Okay, so let's see what this is going to look like. You know what I should do? I'm going to use my texture brush.
Drawing a bison with a lasso. That's my kind of humor.
Never even thought about that. So now I'm painting, getting a little. So this actually feels pretty good doing it this way.
What animal have you not drawn yet?
I've never drawn a naked mole rat. Actually, I have drawn a naked mole rat. There we go. So there's that.
Did you ever draw a Komodo dragon?
No, never drawn a Komodo dragon. Never drawn an okapi. Select, deselect. That doesn't look that great. I don't like it, but you know, it's an experiment. Now I can go over the top of that, of this experiment, and just kind of dust them in.
Do what? Is it male or a female?
This one is a male. This guy was big. You can tell the male by that big bull head. Yeah.
The female.
I like it better without the snow. But what I do want to do, I'm going to go a little brighter. And we're going to grab a little bit of this, my little cloud brush over here. Bam, 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 bam. Wah. Give them a little bit of breath.
Female bison also have horns, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're just not as big. So there he is. There's our bison in the snow. Let's save this. Lasso 2.
Hello.
Bison.
Bison. I want to know, how can we study colors? I feel not too confident with colors, and how can we learn colors?
Well, I've got a whole course on color theory on my website, Creature Art Teacher, taught by my good friend Ronnie Wilford. So that's a way.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, doesn't Ronnie have something about
Yeah.
on that?
Yep, Ronnie teaches a whole course on color. You know, color's it's a funny thing. It's something that you're going to pursue for a lifetime. It's a lot of work to and theory and everything else and practice to get it all to work. And so yeah, it's you got to work at it. So here's our 2 images so far. Done very quickly and very simply. I just want you to see how simple you can make this for yourself using that lasso tool. And then, you know, if you want to get in there and modify and paint over the top of it, at least you have a base here to start with. And you do it really quickly with that lasso tool. You know, even drawing something organic like this, you know, this bison, we were able to do that with our lasso tool. And here's another one that I created last night using both the lasso tool and the symmetry tool. You want to try that real quick? And then we'll call it a day?
Do one more, you said?
Yeah.
All right.
We'll do one more. We've been at it for an hour and 40 minutes. So let's move this over. We'll do
Hey,
one
Aaron.
more. Hey, how's it going, E?
Hello, Looney. I'm trying to learn how to draw a tiger. It's been fun so far, but I really could use some guidance. What if if you guys could make the big cats course $1? I have the wolf course and it's awesome.
No. No. We might. Who knows? Right now, we've got some other courses that we have on sale. But
Maybe in a future sale down the road.
yeah, maybe in a future sale down the road.
I keep asking for a manta ray. Have you ever drawn one of those?
No, I've never drawn a manta.
I love manta rays.
So let's start with I don't know. Let's just start with an orange background. There we go. And we're going to do this vertical. And I want to do an island. I like the idea of these little the sandbar, you know, rippled sand in the foreground and all that. So let's do that. I want to create. Let's go orange. The complement of orange is blue, so we're going to jump up to blue. And what we're going to do, we're going to jump up to blue. What we're going to do is I'm going to grab my gradient tool and I'm going to bring it down to about here on that blue. That feels nice. And then here, I'm going to bring it up right here. What?
You have a bear's course?
Yes.
Yes, we do.
So there's that. Now in the middle, I want that to be nice and bright. So now I'm going to grab my horizontal blend mode, gradient tool I mean. We're going to do this. That's going to be our horizon. Right there. So that is going to be our horizon. So now, what I want to do, I'm going to turn this over. We're we're gonna flop it, and I'm gonna take my let's see, I'm going to go to my paintbrush, and we're going to go to my, here's your symmetry tool right here. In 2020, it's a little butterfly. I'm going to click on it, and I'm going to go for a horizontal symmetry. So there it is. I'm going to bring it down to my horizon, which is right with there. I'm going to draw that out there, draw that out there. Okay? And now I'm going to go to my brush, and we're going to start drawing an island. Oh, I need my... Let's use the hard round brush. And let's go, let's turn this off. And I'm going to go dark. I'm going to go blue with that because I want it to be a complement. I'm going to go kind of gray with it. And we're going to keep this. Actually, let me see here. Let's do that. And just do the simple little island. With these little pine trees on it, bushes. I'm doing it completely opaque. Let's move it over. Whoops. Ah, shoot, I forgot to draw. I got to get rid of that. Doggone it. I hope I have enough to... I forgot to put it on another layer.
What did you do?
I forgot to put it on another layer.
Why?
Did I turn off the symmetry?
Huh?
Oh no, I got to go back to drawing. Okay. So let's go back. So now I'm drawing on my own layer.
So today Aaron is painting 2 more paintings for the one more thing.
Yeah. Alright, so I'm drawing these little trees. And we're going to draw these cliffs coming up. Maybe up here there's a building that's...
Did you ever think that you would become this famous?
famous. I don't know about that.
Did you always know you wanted to be an artist or animator, or did you have other career ideas? Just curious.
At one time I wanted to go into forestry or a veterinarian. I wanted to be a veterinarian for a while, and then I actually worked at a vet's office, and I didn't like it. I had to put animals to sleep, and I just didn't like it.
By the way, did you save?
Not yet, not this one.
I
So
did
here
not hear correctly when you mentioned the 2 apps to use on an iPad. One was Procreate, and the other was
Calipeg.
What?
Calipeg.
Calipeg.
Which we have a course. We have a course on how to use that coming up. My brother teaches it. So here's our. I'm just putting little trees in here. And once again, this is all done in silhouette. But you can, what's fun about, the reason I'm doing this like this is I want you to see how free you can be with it. You just draw quickly. Using the right value, using the right color. You know, I'm going blue because our background, the heat, the hot area is all in orange, right? It goes up to blue in the sky, but that's because it's going towards the cooler areas. So all of this is in silhouette and shadow, so it's going to be cooler.
You know, the new stuff from Deep Thoughts? You want me to read them out, or you...
Well, you will be registered for a Wacom 1 by... Oh, sorry, it's Nick reminding me. I just want to remind you guys that if you go over to our website and register, or to register for a Wacom 1, just sign up for our newsletter. And you can do that by going down to the bottom of the page, and it says newsletter down there. Click on that, and that'll sign you up for our newsletter. YouTube question: have you ever drawn a roadrunner, the bird, not the cartoon character? I actually have. Yes. Only once or twice, but I've done it. Roadrunners are actually a type of cuckoo.
Cuckoo.
Yeah. Which is an actual bird that people don't really realize.
An actual bite.
A cuckoo is a bird, yes. So here we are using our little lasso tool to create, not lasso tool, I'm sorry, the symmetry tool, because what I'm doing is I'm trying to create reflection. It's all going to be in silhouette. See how cool that is?
It's very cool.
Pretty neat. It is quite neat.
It's great nice.
So there we go, we're there, and look at this, watch. Oh, there's a little rock sticking out. Oh, there's another rock.
Oh, there's a dragon. Wait, what? If you already signed up for the newsletter from before, do you get an entry from the walk?
Yes, you'll still be okay. Anyone that signed up for the newsletter will be in the running.
Yeah, even before the contest started, if you signed up, you're automatically in. It's mainly announcement towards the new folks.
So we can do it like this. We can have it like this as our image, or we could do it this way. Because I kind of like to do it like this and make the focus the foreground little sandbar bits. So there's our and that's all on one layer. So I'm going to take it off of, I'm going to turn symmetry off. So now we've got this really neat looking island and the reflection right here. Now I'm going to put a layer on top of that. We're going to keep this really simple. And I'm going to go a bit warmer. I want to go maybe like violet. Do I? Do I?
You have a last name. Do I? Do I?
All right, so let's do this. Now I want to create, we got that over there. Now it's time to get creative. We're going to create the sandbar. Little bits of island.
Why don't you use the fill tool?
Because I didn't want to.
I don't wanna.
I don't want to use the fill tool. I don't want to use the fill tool. I'm used to drawing realistic. What do you suggest when it comes down to illustrating?
For drawing realistic?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure I understand the question. You illustrate realistic. Am I missing something?
I don't know.
Then if you're
I think what the person's asking is like, he draws very realistic, but not in a. I think the person's thinking that illustrating is a different form of drawing from realistic. Maybe.
Hold on.
Yep.
There we go. Illustration can be realistic you know, there's medical illustrations that are, if that's what you're asking, you know, it doesn't have to be all whimsical illustration.
Any waterfalls on the island?
No, it's going to be silhouetted.
Illustration equals draw what your client asked you to draw.
That's true. I did patent illustrations for a long time when I was in college to help pay my bills.
Do you draw mech or robots or sci-fi?
No. I can. I mean, I'm not very good at it.
You did some, but yeah, me growing up, I did a lot of that stuff.
Yeah. All right, let's try that. So I've created these shapes. I've got this dark color. And actually, let's go back and just put a little something there. I don't know if I'm going to want that, but we'll roll with it.
How do you keep adding more selections with the Lasso tool? Do you have to hold shift?
Yes, I'm holding the shift button. That's exactly right.
Did you enjoy attending Ringling College? I'm hopefully attending next year.
When I went, I enjoyed it when I was there in the 80s.
Back in the day.
Back in the day. There we go. So here, oops, creating all these little islands in the water. In the water.
In the water? You gotta put it in the water.
Now I can go to my texture brush right here. And I can go a little lighter with it. Just in the foreground, because everything else will be a little darker back there. I can go a little darker with it. Go a little redder with it. There we go.
Have you ever met John Lasseter?
Yes, I worked for John Lasseter. He was my boss. Yes, I have.
He was my boss.
And now, what we're going to do is I'm going to create I'm going to go to my gradient. And I'm going to go really dark with it. I'm going to go up, watch this. I'm just going to do the gradient on the sand. So we've done that. So let's pull back from that and hit deselect. Now we've got these really cool sand shapes in the water that I think are really interesting. Actually, I'm going to create some more. I'm going to go, I don't like this one in the middle. Looks like it's a bat.
Do you draw mostly from your inner eye, like from things that you maybe dream of, or mostly from experience, like things you did in real life?
It's both, actually. I do both. Think of, you know, and it's the experience applies to what I've done. The experience part of it applies to drawing it from my inner eye, right?
Or was that a question for me?
No, I'm sorry, I started getting into this here. So the more you experience things, the more you can apply them to your art that comes out of your head. And that's what your inner eye is, drawing from that inner eye. There we go. I just wanted to change that a little bit. So we had a little bit different composition. I like that better. So we've got all these little waterways kind of working their way, and we got the reflection happening here.
What's the difference between flow and opacity, and where do you use it?
The flow, I never mess with the flow. They both kind of do the same thing, I think, but I don't know.
Flow, I think, is the opacity of the brush itself, while the opacity is the opacity of the entire image.
No, the opacity right here is for your brush, right here. That's for your brush. There's an opacity button for your brush. Yeah. There's also a flow button, which is the flow. I guess is meant to be the amount. Oh, you know what? It's the amount of paint. Like you could have 100% of opacity, but 50% of flow. So it depends on the texture of your brush. Like if you you can
basically do like an illusion of like dry brushing,
yeah,
or something like that, right, with a lower flow.
Right. So now I'm going to put a layer over the top of all of this, and I'm going to create some fog. So watch this. I'm going to go, let's say this, and we'll go here, maybe a little brighter and warmer, like this. And I'm going to grab my gradient tool, and I'm going to keep it right here on the one that it does a gradient both up and down. I'm going to go right to where my horizon level is. I'm going to create a fog going up and down. Let's do it again. Let's do it again. Do it again. So now we're getting nice. There we go. That feels a little heavy. I can knock it back.
Flow is how much paint that comes off the brush.
Right.
Who is the person saying the comments? That's me. Hi, I'm Dustin. I'm the one that's saying all the comments. Hi, how you doing?
So I'm going to hold shift, and I'm just going to compress this a little bit. I want the same opacity. I'm pushing, and we're going to keep that fog kind of low there. There we go. And now I'm going to take my eraser and grab the airbrush. Just hit that there. Now what I'm going to do is create, how can I do this? Oh, I'm just going to do it, I'll just do it with my airbrush. I'm going to create a little fog coming down a little bit. Why don't you use your pastel C brush for landscape drawing? Well, I do. Today I'm just focusing on using the Lasso tool.
Yeah, today's just showing how multifunctional Lasso tool is.
Yeah. So there's our little bit of fog coming in with our mountains coming up out of the fog. Erica Bay asks, can you zoom in a little when you get a chance? Erica, you're so demanding.
Oh my god. So
I'm keeping everything really simple. I'm going to knock this opacity back just a touch. I want to be able to see through. There we go. But here we go. It's very simple. It's a really simple composition, keeping it really graphic. But the point is, I want you to see how if you keep your values right and your colors right, nice and subtle, you can create something that's pretty impactful, and you can do it pretty quickly. Right there. In Photoshop, the opacity setting controls the opacity of the paint. Are you painting with an opaque metallic paint or a transparent varnish? The flow setting controls the speed at which the paint is laid down. Are you pressing the nozzle of the can of spray paint just a little or all the way down? Exactly. That's a very good way of explaining it.
How do you lock your outlines so you can color inside them?
You hit lock over on, you can alpha lock it. There's several ways of doing it. You can alpha lock, which is the lock right above your layers over on the right side. It says lock. Or you can create a clipping mask, which when you create it above another layer, the clipping mask will create a mask that only will paint within the line, within the paint area of the layer underneath it. So let's say like these guys right here, the little islands that I've created. I'm going to create a layer on top of that, and I'm going to hold down my control button and click on the layer, and then it says right here on the right, create clipping mask. So I'm going to create a clipping mask. So now it kind of works like alpha lock, but I'm on a different layer. So I can come in and I can grab, I don't know, let's grab my spotty brush. We'll go in here like this and hit, oh, okay, it's just got stuff on it. Or we can go to my cloudy brush, and we can grab this and come up here, and it creates, so I'm painting only where, let's go dark again, painting only where those islands are located on the image, because I've created a clipping mask over the top of them. And so what that does is that allows me, when I'm doing a clipping mask, I can grab, let's just grab anything. Let's grab this brush. I don't know what this does. That's plant-like. Let's grab this brush. So what that does is it just allows me to create a lot of different textures, and I can paint right above. Well, here we go. Sorry, I'm trying to think and talk at the same time. I always have a hard time doing that. But it allows you to keep the integrity of the layer underneath. You're not going to destroy it, and you can try, practice all these other bits and pieces on top. This is a great kind of textury brush, and so I can have all kinds of fun with that.
What are some things to remember when drawing backgrounds?
Composition. It's all the same rules apply to painting. Painting backgrounds. All the same rules apply as any other rules for, it's design, composition, color and value, all of that. Oh. I can come up here and go to spacing, a little bit there, more there. I'm going to go to texture and go depth. Pull back on the depth. There we go. There, look at that. Just keep having fun with it. I keep going back and forth. Let's go to back to spacing. Pull it together more. shape dynamics, angle jitter. There we go. So you can just have fun with some of the. Ah, doggone it. Oh, let's try that. Oh, let's try a little purple in there. What does a little purple look like? We'll just go super dark with it. So anyway, I've created this clipping mask, and so if I turn this off, well actually I don't have to turn it off, you can see it now. I can turn, let me turn this off. There, you can see, I kind of like it without the fog now. I'm going to turn the fog down. I want just a little bit in there. There we go, we'll turn it down. So what that does is now I can go back to this layer and just turn it off, and I still have the layer underneath. I haven't destroyed it. Okay? Okay. And I can still go in and go, okay, we're going to do this. I'm going to go to my gradient tool. I'm just going to, oops, I did that on the wrong layer. Back to our clipping mask, and see it only darkens on the area that I've allowed. YouTube question: do you ever get in trouble at Disney? Could you be as small as not cleaning up? Could it be as small as not cleaning up your desk? I never got in trouble. I did get in trouble. There was a time early on when they had a grooming code, and I grew my hair too long. They told me to cut my hair, but that didn't last long. They knew better than to tell artists to cut their hair after that. So that didn't last long. Do you consider entrepreneurship as a necessary evil to what you do, or do you also like the business side? I'm not great at the business side, and Nick handles a lot of that. I think I did okay in the beginning. I don't consider it a necessarily evil, because I like being self-made and or team-made in our case. And I think there's something in that that's very, very satisfying. I don't mind working for another company, but one of the things I hate is seeing obviously bad decisions being made and not being able to do anything about it. So yeah, there's elements of that. And but I really do like working for myself, much more than I did working for a large company. What size Cintiq are you using, Dustin?
Well,
a big one. This is a 32.
Yep, 32 Pro.
Yep. So there's our last one. Wanted to keep it really simple, using that symmetry tool and creating reflections in the low tide pools. I guess these would be, and I think that came out kind of neat. Let's do this. I'm going to go to here.
What's the difference between purple and violet?
The name.
Somebody else said the word purple was created by Crayola.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. There you go. I just wanted to get rid of that last little bit. Maybe just erase that just a touch. No.
What are your thoughts on the animation of the Spider-Verse?
The Spider-Verse?
The movie Spider-Verse?
I loved it. Thought it was great. It's awesome.
It's cool. Can you add some wind ripples into the water?
Yeah, let's do this. Let's try that. So the watercolor won't really change much with ripples. I mean, especially with a gradient, you're not going to see it a whole lot. But what we can do is I'm going to go to my smudge tool, and let's go to, I don't know, let's try the hard round. And I'm going to double this up because I don't want to, just in case we don't like it. And I'm going to do this, and we're going to have it at the strength 55%. So what you can see I'm doing is just giving this a little bit of ripple with my smudge tool. Just like that. Now we can push the strength like that. See there? See what we're doing?
Have you ever drawn snails?
Have you ever drawn a snail?
Have you ever drawn a snail?
Yes, I've drawn snails. Yes, I have.
Who was your biggest inspiration when you were starting out as an artist?
John James Audubon. When I was a kid, I wanted to be a bird artist, and I loved the paintings of John James Audubon, who was a 17th or 18th century ornithologist that studied birds. So here, if I blow it up, you can see I've just gone in and smeared some of the paint. Here we go. We're just smearing it around. There we go. Just to get that watery feel.
Hopefully I translated this question correctly. What are your thoughts and or experiences about the Procreate app for the iPad, like using that for work? Like, do you think that's a good? Do you think it's a good tool for work?
I think it can be. It depends on. I'm not sure if the quality is quite there. I think you can. I think your resolution's there. I think it might put a little bit of work on it to get the right resolution, but I think it's all right. I think. I'm not sure.
Probably depends on the job.
Yeah. But there's our ripples done really quickly, just using the smudge tool, and I think that sits in there pretty good. What if we go to the background? I wonder if you'd actually see it if we. No, you don't really. You can kind of see it. Let's do this. Let's really push the smear. The schmear. There we go. You can kind of see it there. Can you see that? Or is that too?
Zoom it in more.
It might be too subtle.
People are saying it looks. Some folks are saying that's better. Doing the ripples like that.
So I've pushed the smear up to 100%.
When do you think you'll do another animated feature as a director?
You know what? I don't know. You never say never. I just haven't found a project that I'm interested in yet. I've had about 9 offers to direct movies, and I've turned them all down. I love what I do here. I love my business. I don't want to give it up. And unless there's something that really interests me, I'm not going to give it up. I like doing what I'm doing here. This is just, I'm just kind of messing with it, but it's kind of fun here. Whoa!
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 Whoa! Easy there.
I might be a little heavy-handed. Some of these, and they're a little messy.
Just a whittle.
These ripples. Oh!
Who did?
There you go. Not sure if that's quite right, but it's not too bad. And if you want to try something?
Sure.
Let's try something. Let's try one more thing.
I want to show you something.
Let's try one more thing. We're going to create a very bright sun right in here. Right here. It's going to be, the sun is going to be just setting right here. So then I'm going to create another layer underneath this layer, and I'm going to, let me see here. I'm going to see which way I can do this. I'm going to grab my brush. We're going to grab, what if the, I'm going to hold shift.
What aspects do you have to consider to price your art?
Do this again. I think you need to consider how much in demand you are, the amount of time it takes to do your art. Now I'm going to hit blur.
It does sometimes even consider the type of materials you're using if you're doing a traditional.
Yep. You take that into consideration. You it's your materials, the amount of time, all of that, plus the demand of your work, and then that's how you price it accordingly. You and the market. You know, you got to look at the market. Sorry, I'm still trying to work this out. You got to look at the market. I'm going to go back to my smudge tool. I'm going to knock it down from 100%. And we're going to go back in. I'm going to knock that back to 43%. Oh, maybe back up to 52%. So I'm creating some little ripples in this sunset reflection that we've got. To match the ripples that we've got already. There we go. And now on that layer, I'm going to grab my airbrush. I'm going to combine these two layers. And I am going to, what if I turn off that fog layer, see what we've got? That looks kind of neat without the fog layer. So I'm going to keep that there for now. And I'm going to come up here. And
What if you lowered the opacity of the fog, like it's a lighter fog?
Yeah, I could do that, because right now it's at 48. You know, like, it's just killing the, the sunset. Oh, you know what I could do is I could combine everything and then burn it in that way. Let's do that. I want to try that. Let's put all that in a folder, and then that way I can save it. I'm going to come up here and I'm going to merge the group. And now I'm going to come up here to my airbrush. I'm going to set this to color dodge, and we're going to drop it down to 9%. I'm going to keep it in this range. Referring to what you said earlier, can you give an example of a bad decision that was made that you wished you could have done something about? I think for me it's more about story decisions that you don't necessarily agree with, and I don't have any examples off the top of my head. I do feel like Disney and a lot of and other studios spend a lot of time trying to figure out a movie rather than just pulling the trigger. And I do think, and I think they could, if they would just make the movie that's written to begin with. I do think that sometimes the movie can be made for a cheaper amount, but that's just my opinion. And I know there's a big argument to the process being, hey, it takes that, a lot of trial and error in order to get it right, and it really does. But I do think there's a lot of time spent before we even get to the trial and error part, and that's what I'm talking about. I think they could be made a little bit more quickly in that sense, or at least start getting it wrong. We always say, let's get it, let's start making it and getting it wrong so that we can get it, get through it a little faster, a little more cheaply. So here I'm just pushing some of these little reflections. That was kind of cool. You like that? I like that. You know what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up here. I'm going to grab a little bit of that. I like that.
And you're going to save that too, right?
And I'm going to... Oh yeah, Nick's reminded me, I wish I could have had more input into the marketing of Brother Bear. I definitely wish I could have had more input on that. I think it would have done better. The fact that we went out on a Saturday instead of Friday still blows my mind. But I had no say in that. Alright, so now I'm going to come in here and I just want to burn this in like it's with a little bit of heat. There we go. Just to get that hot sun feel in some of these darker areas. YouTube question: if your pencil had to make a noise whenever you worked with it, what noise would you like it to make? That's a funny question. So there. I think I like adding that little bit of sunset, keeping that little bit of haze in there. You want to try the lens flare? Cheat. People hate it when you do it lens flare. I'm gonna try it anyway. I think lens flare could be fun.
I hate lens flare.
Oh, there's so many people that hate lens flares.
I don't get
That
why
blocks out eye.
they don't like it so much.
Huh?
I don't get why people don't like it so much.
It's a cheat. You can paint your own lens flare. But we'll keep that one out. Oops. I like it better without. So there's our, once again, using just smudge tools, smear tools, and lasso tools, and that sort of thing, and gradients. You can the symmetry tool. You can create really cool landscapes, and so this is an example of that. So I had fun doing that. Let's pull up some of the other ones. Let's save this first. Save as Lasso 3. Woohoo! Seascape. So here's our 3 images. Whoops. There we go. There's one. Blow that up so you can see it. There's one right there, done with our lasso tool. Actually, it might look better. Probably shouldn't. I gotta try it. I gotta do one more thing.
There it is.
Don't you hate that? But this time I'm just gonna go right on top. I want to see if it looks better like this. you think? I think it does.
Zoom it in. So. people
Oh,
can
sorry, I
actually
had to see it small. I like that better.
Yeah.
Yep. Gotta say I like it better. Just closing that off on the bottom. So, save.
Boom.
So there's that. There's our bison
Bye, son.
right there. You know, it's a little funky, but it's kind of cool and graphic.
And then
And then our original little
mountain.
mountainscape
the Misty Mountain.
right there, our little mountainscape. That was fun.
Yeah.
Just using Lasso and blend tools and all that kind of stuff. So, Nick says, hey, why don't we just do 8-hour streams? I got nothing going on. That's why I'm trying to finish it up, jerk. Oh, I still went 2.5 hours anyway. All right, well, we're done. So remember, go on over to creatureartteacher.com and you can get my watercolor course for $5. You can get my how to paint digitally, like I just showed you today. This is all part of the course. You can get that entire course, how to paint in Photoshop with Aaron Blaise, for $1. We've got a whole bunch of other stuff going on over there. The watercolor course is $5. The all of my Photoshop brushes, my custom brushes, every set is $1 each, and there's like 20, 30 brushes in each set, and you can get those for $1 each. Not the brushes, but the entire set. We've got Dustin's animal reference packs over there. There's some beautiful imagery in there that he's been working on. We've got Lyndon Ruddy and his storyboard course. We've got Ronnie Williford and his color theory and outdoor painting. Chuck Williams and story. We've got all kinds of stuff, and we've got a lot of stuff coming up. We've got my Birds of Prey course coming up. We've got Tony Cipriano and sculpting in ZBrush coming up. We got another. Oh, we've also got Tim Hodges' course on drawing imaginary or drawing mythical creatures, cartoon mythical creatures, along with drawing cartoon humans and cartoon animals. We got tons of stuff. So go on over to creatureartteacher.com and check it all out. It's all good education, and it's all at really good prices. So I hope you guys had a good time today. I had a blast. It was different. I like doing something a little bit different. And with that, I will tell you, have a great week. We'll see you again on Friday. Remember, go to our website, sign up for the newsletter, and you're going to be eligible for winning a brand new Wacom One Cintiq tablet, or not Cintiq, but Wacom One tablet. I guess it is a Cintiq. It's a little entry level.
It sort of is Cintiq, yeah.
It's very, very cool. Actually, do we have it here?
No.
No. Anyway,
Oh.
have a great week. No, it's cool.
Yeah.
Have a great week. Go out there, put some beauty back into the world, and I will talk to you on Friday. See you later.
All right, thank you guys so much for watching. Glad you guys enjoyed this stream. And if you're interested in any wildlife photography on Instagram, you can go over and check out my my Instagram at Dustin_Blaise. Been posting photos, wildlife photos on there, so you can go over there and check that out. Again, Dustin_Blaise. And as Dad said, I also have wildlife reference photos on creatureartteacher.com, so you can check those out. And we'll see you guys Friday. Stay safe out there. Until then, Cowboy Bebop. See ya.